Tonight's closed captioning is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. Let's go upstairs for the opening draw. Here's Howie and Butch.
All right, thank you very much, Peter. They've got to keep putting those Tavares jerseys back on the rack because so many of them sell. You look around this building and there are a lot of kids wearing John's number 91. Also now, of course, wearing the C as the captain, and he's off to his usual strong start with 3 goals and 4 assists, tied for the team lead in points. And as for the Edmonton Oilers, there is Stanley Cup experience, and that there jersey worn by Andrew Ference, the former Boston Bruin.
Yeah, and that's exactly why they brought him over. You're right, Howie. 2011, he won the Cup with the Bruins. 2004, he lost to Tampa Bay with his Calgary team. So he brings that steadying influence back on defense, a little bit of leadership, because as we talked about, this is a very young group of people.
The Islanders will start Franz Nielsen between Marc Bouchard on the left and Josh Bailey on the right. Andrew McDonald, Travis Hamonic on defense. Kid out of Yale and a Connecticut kid as well, Mark Arcobello will be the center. Arcobello will center for Taylor Hall, number 4 on left wing. Jordan Eberle, number 14 on the right. And on defense, Nick Schultz, number 15, the former Minnesota Wild, and number 21, the aforementioned Andrew Ference. So here is Bouchard scooping it to the Edmonton line. It gets knocked away there, and Eberle, trying to make a start on a rush, does get into the Islanders zone before it's knocked away from him and back into Edmonton ice. And keep an eye on Eberle. If he's got any open space and gets anywhere towards the net, he's got magical hands. He can handle the puck as well as anybody in his league.
Well, he's also very skilled. A lot of hockey sense, and his coach was saying that he's a terrific supporter of the puck. That means that he gets on the puck in a hurry, Howie, lends support to his line mates, not only offensively, but defensively.
Schultz up to Eberle. And here is Jordan Eberle, number 14, dumping it in as the Oilers change on the move. Travis Hamonic back to play it in the Islanders zone, turning away from the forecheck of Boyd Gordon, number 27. Tavares on for the Islanders now with Grabner and Oposo. Ales Hemsky, number 83, on the turnover, shoots. Nabokov juggles, put to the side of the net, centered, and with Nabokov finally back in position, it pinballs behind the net. But the Oilers had a gimme there if they could have just connected with a puck in front of the net because Nabokov was down and out of position.
Yeah, Alex Hemsky had a golden opportunity. I thought that was a sure goal because he was doing a wrap around. Nabokov was out of position, but for whatever reason, Hemsky lost control of the puck. Perhaps with the curve of the stick, Howie, it falls off his stick. There's the stick as he comes around. He just doesn't hang on to it long enough, but he's got the big curve, and he was on his backhand, and that puck just slides right off, and a good break for the Islanders. But you know what? One of the things that I think the Islanders are going to have trouble with early on is adapting to the speed of the Oilers. Like, they've kind of played a couple of methodical games over the last little bit, and this is a team that really relies on its speed. Now, the Islanders can certainly skate with the Oilers, but I think when you've been playing methodical games the last little while, it takes you a while to kind of get slapped in the face to say, hey, we better just pick it up here.
Well, that'll now fall on the shoulders of Regan, Molson, and Clutterbuck, the Islander forwards. Hickey and Wisnowski, the defense. Number 77 is Anton Delov, defenseman for the Oilers, working it around the boards. Recovered by Molson, who snapped it wide. And number 19, the other defenseman, Justin Schultz, out of the University of Wisconsin, plays it into the far corner. David Perron, number 57, worked it ahead. Schultz feeds the right wing, and here's young Nail Yakupov, number 64. Cross to Schultz. Schultz closes in. And it's sent back to the blue line. Belov lines up a shot that looked like it hit Nugent Hopkins, number 93, in the back of his skate. Then it's sent towards the net, snapped wide, and Yakupov unable to backhand the puck through. But recovered by Nugent Hopkins. Forced into a giveaway to Wisnowski. Now Lubomir Wisnowski on the rush. And over the Edmonton line, looking to get through. Quick shot. Sails over the crossbar. Watched by Dubnyk, the goaltender.
Well, you want to get a lot of shots on this goaltender. He has struggled early on in the year. And both goaltenders, LaBarbera and Dubnyk, have both struggled. You want to shoot the puck. Force this guy to handle it as much as possible.
Matt Martin dumps it in. He's on with Cizikas and Colin McDonald, who returns to the lineup after missing one game with a sore hip. And the puck back in the corner. Matt Martin with a hit, or pardon me, Brian Strait with a hit on Ryan Jones, number 28. Jumping down, Nick Schultz, number 15. Played it to the corner. Acton's pass came across, batted away. That was Will Acton, number 41. His dad, Keith Acton, is on the Edmonton bench as an associate coach to the new head coach, Dallas Eakins.
Keith Akin, of course, wore number 14, so his son just reversed it. Born in Edina, Minnesota. Keith played a little bit there in Minnesota.
McDonald to Bailey for a redirection. It's stopped by Dubnyk. Now McDonald back to the blue line under some pressure from Eberle. In behind Nielsen. Franz Nielsen works to the corner, draws plenty of company, finds Bailey for a shot that's stopped but not held by Dubnyk, and so the Islanders keep working on it. McDonald a drive, and Dubnyk's got that. Doesn't control that one either.
Definitely struggled a little bit. Had good looks at the puck. No reason to give up those kinds of rebounds. So the Islanders want to continue shooting, driving to the net. Howie looking for rebounds.
You know, we've seen have that problem last couple of years when the Islanders saw the Toronto Maple Leafs was their goaltender, James Reimer. A lot of trouble handling and holding pucks.
Yeah, we talked about that. It lasted the entire game. Well, when you've struggled early on in the season, you know, those things are going to happen. Watch the shot by Bailey. Quick shot. That's an easy save for Dubnyk, but again, a nice rebound for the Isles.
Wisniewski off now to Tavares along the boards. Work to the near side to Okposo. Thomas Hickey comes down. Okposo had it batted away, and here's Taylor Hall bursting ahead of the field and on goal. Can't control as he was being pestered all the way down by Okposo, but Hall simply lost the handle.
Now you saw the speed of Hall, Taylor Hall, and you're right, just lost the puck at the last minute.
Now Grabner flings one towards the net. Tavares was cruising that way, and you could see the signs of the pace that we alluded to earlier beginning to develop here.
It's very much wide open. A lot of speed through the neutral zones. These are both very good skating hockey teams.
It should be a fun game. Smead, number 5 for Edmonton.
Well, we're hoping for that 6-5 game, but the coaches are not.
Not our problem.
Of course, Dallas Eakins, his team hasn't scored a lot of goals, so he might not feel really bad about that. As a matter of fact, how he was talking about how he wants his team to play the same way, start to finish, regardless of the score.
Yeah, he says they've been constantly searching something of an identity, apart from their youth, of course. And now it is Regan for New York, whirling it in behind the Edmonton goal. Schultz gets there with Molson. It's Justin Schultz, number 19, paired with Belov on defense. Nugent Hopkins for Schultz. His pass was behind Yakupov. So Hamonic has it behind the Islander net. 5.5 into the opening period. Islanders with 3 of the first 5 shots. And Dubnyk leaves it for his defense. Both teams changing on the move.
This is the 4th of 6 games in a row for the Oilers on the road. So far, they're 0-2-1. So they're looking for their first win on the road.
Now recovered in the corner by Acton and sent behind the net, looking for Luke Gazdic, number 20. And it winds up back in the Edmonton zone. Nick Schultz takes a hit from Martin of the Islanders. Wisniewski out at the blue line. All the way to Hickey. Let's go a drive, and a pad save made by Dubnyk. Hickey kicks it out to Wisniewski, and he missed the net.
Hickey acting like a goaltender there, was able to kick that puck to his partner.
Well, he acted like a baseball hitter there, bunting the puck down to keep it in the Edmonton zone before Wisniewski gives it away. Cabello stripped of the puck. Eberle turning behind the net. Eberle put it to the front, but Bouchard breaks it up and lifts it back to the Edmonton line where Ladislav Smead has it. He's another of those many first-round picks on this Oilers team. He was a first-round pick of the Anaheim Ducks, though, back in 2004. McDonald around to Hamonic. And now Nielsen with a home run pass intended for Bouchard, and Dubnyk out to play it. Eberle squeezed to the boards by Nielsen. And now Andrew McDonald will throw it into the corner. And Jeff Petrie, number 2, back to get it. Petrie, in a bit of an oxymoron, is from Michigan State, but he was born in Ann Arbor, which of course is home to the University of Michigan.
His dad was a pro baseball player, a pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, so guess who they're cheering for right now, Holly?
Dan Petrie.
That's right.
Now Grabner, back of the Islander line, has it batted down. Schultz recovered by Tavares. He shoots, and that's stopped by Dubnyk. There's Nick Schultz, the defenseman, jumping in. Okposo working in the corner against Schultz. Nudged it free, and Hemsky back to get it.
Nick Schultz is one of those guys that's just a solid defensive player. 13th season in the National Hockey League.
A drive by Donovan missed the net. Donovan also has returned to the lineup after being a healthy scratch. And up the right wing comes Ryan Smith, the former Islander. They boo him because he didn't stay an Islander. And as he's knocked off the puck by Straight, the crowd enjoys that as Tavares winds it in.
Well, he didn't stay an LA King guy either very long. Wanted to get back to an Edmonton. Well, he's the face of the Edmonton Oilers, really. I mean, is there anybody else who's played longer and been more of an Oiler than Ryan Smith?
Over 1,200 games. This is the 1,205th of his National Hockey League career. And holding on, the Nabokov, we got our first whistle in well over 4 minutes. 11:18 remaining in a scoreless first period, although Hall might have had a chance to put the Oilers in front. Scoreless game with 11:18 remaining in the first period. And our cold hard facts are brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. We take a little bit different tack here tonight, Bush, as we simply say happy birthday to Kenny Morrow. 57 years old.
Boy, he's old. What he got done in 1980, I don't know if anybody's ever going to do that again. An amateur winning the gold medal for his country in the Olympics and then coming on to win the Stanley Cup in the exact same year, given there isn't any amateurs playing in the Olympics anymore.
That's the guy you really wanted to take to Vegas with you. Steps off that Olympic team, right off the podium where he accepted his gold medal, comes to the Islanders, wins 4 straight cups as an overtime winner against Edmonton in the '81 playoffs. And I tell you what, it looked like they might just knock the plexiglass right down. The fans were pushing so hard after Morrow's empty netter sealed the 4th straight cup in 1983.
Kenny Morrow scored the overtime goal in the third game in LA, which was a huge goal. Kenny Morrow's the reason that Bill Torrey was able to trade Dave Lewis and Billy Harris for myself, because he had a defenseman he felt comfortable with that could take over Dave Lewis's position. And boy, was he right. Kenny was an integral part, an important part of that Stanley Cup run.
And that was some, leap of faith, if you will, by Bill Torrey, because it wasn't quite 2 weeks, I don't think, after the Olympics ended that deal was made. And of course you came here, but also that Ken Morrow had cemented his role, making Dave Lewis expendable.
Yeah, well, he played just so solid, and you're right. They just loved the way he played and the way he handled himself. And he didn't play with Dennis Potvin right off the bat, but yeah, 11 first-rounders on that team, and I mean, it's unbelievable. So, I mean, they've got an awful lot of talent. It's going to take some time. I mean, the goaltender is a first-rounder. I mean, and Schmid and Eberle and Gordon and Perron and Hemsky. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of them. So it's a young team with an awful lot of talent. And as we've witnessed here, Howie, it takes time. It just doesn't happen overnight. So this team is going to be one to be reckoned with.
And the fans in Edmonton are getting a little antsy, waiting for them to really take off. One thing we know about Edmonton, they are very, very close to having every I dotted and T crossed for a brand new downtown building there, which, if all goes on schedule, would open the year after the Islanders go to Brooklyn, assuming the Islanders go the year after next.
And the other thing, you look at the Edmonton Oilers, they've always been a team that can skate. So all the draft picks over the number of years that they've had these top first-rounders, they all can skate exceptionally well.
Here's Travis Hamonic doing just that for the Islanders, getting into the Edmonton zone, feeding in front, they score! Josh Bailey takes the feed from the still aggressive Travis Hamonic to give the Islanders a 1-0 lead. And we saw Hamonic do this the other night, Butch.
Now we wondered if this was going to be a permanent part of his game, and he hasn't slowed down one iota as he's able to go in there and pinch down low. Again, look at Travis Hamonic. He's down low, picks up the puck, and he sees Josh Bailey in perfect position, and he gets a quick shot away. Tries to clear it right off the bat, chases the puck, doesn't turn away. He just stays with it. Most defensemen would look about getting out of the offensive zone and say, hey, I better get back to my own zone. But Josh Bailey picks up that loose puck, and it's 1-0. And that, to me, I mean, nothing to take anything away from Josh Bailey, but that wasn't right in the corners. That was a little bit more in the middle. So, again, you need to shoot on this guy, because I really think they could score 5 or 6 on him. pretty easily if they get some good opportunities.
Talking about a guy in Devin Dubnyk who had a save percentage of .829 and a goals against of 5.43 coming into this game, and now midway through the first period, almost at the exact midway point, 9:59. Bailey from Hamonic and Bouchard makes it 1-0 New York, the third of the year for Josh Bailey, and now penalty coming up, and the Islanders will look to extend their lead on the power play. So Hemsky will head to the box. Islander power play next. Is with a 1-0 lead with 9:23 remaining in the first period.
Well, we see the good hard work by Martin, and Hemsky just gets that stick up in the midsection, and they've been very consistent with that call.
So it's a hook at 10:37. And the Islander power play is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. The Oilers, the worst penalty killing team in the NHL very early on, with just 2 weeks into the season. But they've given up 8 in 24 times shorthanded. And the Islanders on the power play, 4 out of 18. And now Nielsen plays it across to Wisniewski. Molson, Raposo, Tavares, the rest of the power play unit. Andrew Ference, number 21. Nick Schultz, number 15. Eberle, number 14. And Gordon, number 27, the penalty killers for the Edmonton Oilers. No one controls until it squirts out of the corner and is cleared by Eberle.
Good job by Eberle. The Islanders had him surrounded. It was 4 men to 3, but Eberle just had a little bit of stick-to-itiveness to him and hung in there, found a way to work it out.
So here's Wisniewski now, dropping it off for Nielsen. Franz scrolls through the middle. Converged upon by 4 Oilers, so the puck to the boards, and it's chopped out of the zone by Petry.
Important part of the power play is being able to get in with control. The Islanders do a nice job running their routes to get in. Franz Nielsen couldn't get that pass all the way across over to John Tavares in that early rush.
Now Wisniewski holding up behind the Islander goal. 50 seconds remaining on Hemsky's penalty. Regan again surrounded. Boy, you could see the way the Oilers, once the Islanders try to carry that puck in, 4 of them try to box the puck carrier in, but that leaves others open, and that went off of perhaps Bailey and deflected out of play. But if not, if it did go off of an Oiler, the faceoff will stay inside.
Well, they know the Islanders like to carry the puck up the middle of the ice and then throw it wide, so they're jamming that middle of the ice. There's, you say, Regan with 4 Oilers converging on him. Regan knows he has to get the puck to the outside, tried to do it on the backhand. As a penalty killer, Howie, that's what you try to do. Force him to make the play on his backhand. It's a little tougher play normally.
Donovan on the power play now. Bouchard, Bailey, Martin. Here's Bouchard stepping up, firing, save Dubnyk, and the rebound missed by Martin with Dubnyk down. And now it's Donovan faking the shot. 17 to the power play. Bailey to Martin. Looking in front for Regan. Couldn't get it there. Donovan backed it up. Now Donovan along the line. Fires Dubnyk to save.
Good screen shot. Good save by Dubnyk.
Penalty about to expire. Islanders had 2 shots on the power play. Andrew MacDonald off the bench feeds it towards the slot. Matt Martin turned around, but the follow. Regan drives it, and a stick save made by Dubnyk, and the puck sent back into the Islanders zone with 7:06 to go in the first period. Islanders about shot the Oilers 10-3 and lead 1-0. Belov, number 77, round to the far side. Perron up into the Islanders zone. Former St. Louis Blue. With it, Perron gave it away to Clutterbuck, and the Islanders look to go the other way. Clutterbuck in for a shot that went off of Belov. And the Oilers recovered. Work rink wide to Yakupov. And Nail Yakupov throws it around the boards. Hamonic sidestepped some of that hit by Perron, but it broke Hamonic's stick. And Travis over to the bench. He'll just take a seat as the Islanders change the D. Lubomir Wisniewski has jumped on with 6:17 to go in the opening period.
Perron is a skilled, gritty, tenacious individual. Last year he was second on the St. Louis team in takeaways, so you know he's not going to let you get away with anything, and you've got to be aware for that check.
Arcobello played it ahead. Hickey tries to break it up, recovered, and redirected wide by Hemsky. And around to the blue line it goes. Petry to the far side. That hit part of Hamonic's broken stick. And Kyle Oposo scoops it up the boards. Hustling back is Schmid. Grabner on the near side, but the pass behind him and the play offside. 5:42 remaining. First period on the island. Islanders up on a Bailey goal. Josh Bailey has the Islanders on top 1-0. Wednesday, October 30th on MSG Network. The Knicks will open the season at the Garden against the Milwaukee Bucks. Presented by Chase. And wait till you see the totally transformed Garden, too. Live coverage gets underway with a special 1-hour Visa Knicks game night at 6:30. The Knicks season opener Wednesday, October 30th on MSG. And by the way, if you're looking for the New Jersey Devils, that telecast of their game against the Ottawa Senators in Ottawa is on MSG +2. And here is Glass +3, meaning the number of attendants it's taken to replace the cracked pane. But it only takes one to lug it off. Islanders out shooting the Oilers 11-3 so far. Bailey, who has a goal, has 3 of the shots. Bouchard's got 3. Bouchard's been a little more active the last couple of games.
Yeah, he seems to have a little bit more chemistry as we look at Dallas Eakins. And I coached him for a couple of games, Howie, and his assistant coach, Kelly Buchberger, I played with him in Nova Scotia, so there's a little Edmonton Islander flavor there.
I was talking to Craig McTavish, the general manager of the Oilers, a little while ago, and asked him what it was he liked about Dallas Eakins. He first took note of him because he coached against him in the American League. And said that his teams always played hard, and he has a great knack for communicating with his players.
Well, he's been the last 8 seasons with the Toronto Maple Leafs organization.
He was the hot property among
a lot of talk. Went to the finals in 2012, lost out to the Portland team, but did an excellent job in the Toronto organization. So this is his opportunity with a young, fast hockey club.
Boo and Ryan Smith, every time he's anywhere near the puck, they've done it since that little stretch with the Islanders in 2007. Eberle knocked down.
You watched him take the puck and drive through the crease. Well, he's made a career out of doing that. He's a real pest in front of the net, real strong. Goes to those dirty areas. He wouldn't say that, though. He would just say, I'm just playing tough game.
They weren't so dirty when he came up. That phrase has found its way into the lexicon well after he'd been a veteran. Franz Nielsen broke his stick. And now Eberle starts the other way. Hall against Hamonic. Lines him up, stays with him, and takes him in. Nicely done by Travis Hamonic.
Travis would have played with some of these guys in the World Junior.
Here's Schultz moving in. Centers, they score. Taylor Hall from a deep angle had a wide open left side of the net, and the Oilers have tied the game 1-1.
Well, we've been talking about the skill of the Edmonton Oilers, and what a heads-up play by Justin Schultz. Tremendous offensively skilled defenseman. He was a free agent signing by the Oilers last year. Tore up the American League. Won the Eddie Shore Award as the best defenseman. But there's the quick pass all the way across. And nice read by Justin Schultz as he spots Taylor Hall all alone. That's just gifted ability. You can't teach a player that. Just to be able to have that kind of vision and, of course, that kind of skill to hit the shot from the bad angle. Taylor Hall has all of that, but that's a nice two-way passing play that the Oilers tied this game on.
And that number 4 he's wearing is very special in Edmonton. It was given to him by the president of the Oilers. They're a longtime defenseman and a brilliant defenseman in the National Hockey League with 6 Stanley Cup rings to show for it. Kevin Lowe.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he didn't mind him wearing it. Kevin said his name's not up on the banner, so there's no reason to retire.
Well, it's Hall again. And it's Taylor Hall 2. The New York Islanders won as Taylor Hall, wearing number 4, doubles it to score 2 goals in 8 seconds.
Well, his agent is Bobby Orr, so I guess he'd be happy about that right now. But that just comes right off the face-off, and Eberle just wins the battle of the puck. A quick puck movement again. Caballo gets it towards the net. A quick rebound out to Taylor Hall. Makes absolutely no mistake. But look at the work by Eberle. He's able to get that puck loose. Hall makes the quick pass. And then, of course, Arcabello shoots it. Just gets it on the net. Forces the Nabokov to make the save. And boy, the puck bounces right on Hall's stick.
I don't know if you saw the way Kyle Oposo kind of threw his head back. He was just a split second behind Hall. Had the chance to pound that rebound home. So 2 goals in 8 seconds. I'll have to look up and see what the Edmonton record is for fastest 2 goals. They now take a 2-1 lead. Here's Grabner looking to center. Michael Grabner in the corner. All the way across to McDonald with traffic. He fires one that hits Eberle's skate and ricochets over the glass and out of play. So the 2 goals by Hall, the first assisted by Justin Schultz and Arcobello at 15:52. 8 seconds later, Hall again, Arcobello and Eberle draw the assists. And just like that, 2-1 Edmonton.
That was a quick 3-on-2 on the face-off, and you never want to give up goals after you've been scored on or after you've scored one so quickly. But the Oilers have all that skill we've been talking about.
And Dubnyk holds on, again with a little traffic in front of him. A little pushing and shoving. Doesn't appear destined to amount to a whole lot. So the Islanders, out shooting and out playing the Oilers for large stretches of this period, now find themselves behind 2-1. Fastest 2 goals in Oilers history, 7 seconds. So Taylor Hall didn't break it, or tie it for that matter. Sheldon Souray and Ales Hemsky did it in November of 2009 in 7 seconds. Just one behind the one-man operation of Taylor Hall.
Needed a direct pass from Arcobello instead of the rebound. That would have got it done.
NHL record, by the way, fastest goal, 3 goals by any one player. Bill Mosienko of the Chicago Blackhawks back in the early 1950s. Hickey centers, looking for Martin going to the net, and Dubnyk holds on. And once again, some pushing and shoving, and this one has a little more bite and edge to it.
Well, already a little frustration shown by the Islanders. You're right, how he got off to a good start, skating well, had some good opportunities, had the power play opportunity, some near misses. Dubnyk hasn't been all that sharp. You can see that he's really shaky anytime that puck comes anywhere near him, but the quick strike Oilers have done enough to get the lead. They haven't had a lead coming out of the first period this season. Now with just less than 3 minutes, perhaps this will be the first time they'll take a lead out of the first period.
Islanders trying to change that. Regan, Molson, Clutterbuck up front. Molson, a backhander kicked out by Dubnyk. Clutterbuck round behind for Molson. He slipped it out in front. It pinballs and is finally brought along by Boyd Gordon. Gordon, the former Washington Capital, decked along the boards at the far side by Clutterbuck.
Played in Phoenix last year. Howard very good on faceoffs. 57% last year. Excellent.
Hemsky up ahead to Gordon. Straight lines him up. Poso against Ryan Smith, who eventually is dumped by Donovan. And up comes straight for the Islanders. Into the Edmonton zone. Flings one up high, and Dubnyk will hold on to that with 2:08 remaining in a period that's seen the Islanders outshoot the Oilers 15-7, yet trail 2-1.
Now, good jump-up play by Ryan Straight. Kyle Poso recognizing the skate was open up in the middle of the ice. Something the Islanders need to continue to do. Have their defensemen jump up, create some offense for them. We've been remarking how well that Travis Hamonic has been getting involved in the play. Now, it can't be a one-man show. Everybody on the Islander defense has to jump up, create those offensive opportunities.
Ferentz just gave it away to Grabner, and now it's Tavares setting up, pushing it off the boards. Didn't get a whole lot on it. Eberle is able to get to it first and works it across, and out come the Oilers, and again it's Hall. Taylor Hall into the Islander zone. Down low looking for Eberle. He plays it in the corner. Minute 41 to go in the period. McDonald in front of the net to break it up. Arcobello back for Hall. Taylor Hall against Tavares. Two bright young stars in this league. And here's Hall again. Sweeping it to the hash marks off of Oposo. Oilers recover. It's Eberle. Throwing it into the corner. Arcobello out to Schultz. Arcobello for Eberle. He's surrounded. Turns it over. And out Grabner the other way. To Oposo. Into the Edmonton zone. Along the boards against Nick Schultz, who took him in. Oposo keeps working. A little defensive help from Nick Schultz as we reach the final minute of this first period. Ferentz ahead. And this is going to be an icing against the Oilers. They'll bring the face-off into the Edmonton zone with 52.5 seconds remaining in the first period.
Now the line of with John Tavares has struggled against the Arcobello line. Haven't been able to get a whole lot done as Eberle and Hall and Arcobello moved the puck around pretty well and been able to hem in that line. Perhaps we might see a different matchup in the second period from Jack Capuano.
That assistant coach you saw talking to Dallas Eakins, the longtime Edmonton Oilers defenseman Steve Smith. 39 to go in the period. Puck sent deep by Perron. Hickey or Wisniewski. Comes back to Hickey behind the net. Nugent Hopkins on him. Perron in on the forecheck as well. And they keep the Islanders hemmed in until Hickey throws one up the middle. No icing. Smead trailed by Bouchard. Petrie against Nielsen. Got it all the way to the blue line. Wisniewski to Hickey. He shoots. Save made. Dubnyk left a rebound. Bouchard for Bailey. 7 to the period. Bailey tried to center, but it finds its way into the corner. Yakupov there with Hickey. Smead holds the puck as time runs out in a first period during which the Islanders outshot the Oilers 16-7. But for 8 seconds, owned by Taylor Hall. His 2 goals, one more than that by Josh Bailey. And the Islanders trailing 2-1 at the end of 1. So Hall holds the record for the fastest 2 goals by an Oiler. The Ford intermission report coming up next. Well, the Islanders outshot the Oilers 16-7 in that first period, but trailed 2-1. And so the second period will begin. The Islanders starting out with Franz Nielsen between Josh Bailey and Pierre-Marc Bouchard, with Andrew MacDonald and Travis Hamonic on defense. And for Edmonton, again, it's Arcobello in the middle, Taylor Hall on the left, Eberle on the right, and Ference and Nick Schultz, the defense pair.
Well, the Islanders actually had a pretty good first period, so they can't get frustrated just because they gave up a couple of goals. They've got to stay patient, keep skating, get the puck towards the net.
And the puck right into the Islanders zone, sent ahead by MacDonald to Nielsen. The long drive goes wide. Bailey first to get the carom. Josh Bailey shouldered to the boards by Ference. Eberle against MacDonald in the corner. And now Schultz works it around to the near side. Ference couldn't squeeze it past the check of Josh Bailey. So it's launched on the backhand by Arcobello. Did he go to Yale? Born in Milton, Connecticut. And really a placeholder right now, they say, for Sam Gagner till he can get back from a broken jaw.
Arcobello's played pretty well. Him and Matt Donovan are very good friends. Matt Donovan, when he was in Bridgeport, Howie, stayed at Arcobello's home for the last 2 seasons, so they've struck up a relationship.
Now that's a good piece of trivia, but it's not the Cadillac trivia question for tonight. That one has to do with fellas behind the bench. 4 current NHL coaches have played for the Islanders. One of them used to get the same treatment that Ryan Smith is getting every time he touches the puck tonight. A little bit of a hint. We'll have the answer for you a little bit later on. Thrown in by Grabner. Chased down by Tavares. And again, good coverage by the Oilers. He's unable to get a pass across. So here's Hemsky speeding to center. Shoved by Grabner as Hemsky wheels it around to the near corner. Covered by the Islanders. Oposo drops it off to Hickey. 3-on-3 as he gets into the Edmonton zone. Dubnyk missed the puck with a stick check. And that leaves Wisniewski way open on the right point. Put it to the skates of Grabner, who pulls up, winds, fires. That's blocked. Recovered by Grabner again. Now to Oposo. It was Boyd Gordon who made the block. And Smith across to Yakupov. 20-year-old. Now to Smith, and that deflects off of Thomas Hickey. Nugent Hopkins for Yakupov.
You could almost read Nabokov's mind. Don't do that.
Perron, number 57. Cutting back towards the Islander blue line. Now tucks it in behind the net. Hickey first to get it. Nugent Hopkins in against him. Molson defending with Hickey for the Islanders. Yakupov got it free. Perron turned around by Wisniewski. And the puck knocked down at legal height by Oposo. So he's able to throw it in behind the Edmonton goal.
He's a baseball player, no doubt about it. Was able to almost butt the puck to him.
2.5 gone here in the second period. Neither team with a shot yet. And here's straight for the Islanders. Up the left wing. Molson brings it into the Edmonton zone. Launches one that's steered away by Dubnyk. It's not often you'll see Matt Molson take a shot from that deep. Ryan Jones, number 28, shoved down by Donovan, who in turn is hit by Luke Gazdic. And back in comes McDonald, and Colin McDonald's shot stopped by Dubnyk. Now Martin trying to throw his weight around against Nick Schultz. Cizikas in there too. Martin trying to dig it loose. But Andrew Ference relaxes it for the Oilers. And it's banked off the boards by Jones. And sent to the Islander net where Nabokov handles it. Oilers changing. Colin McDonald throws one into the corner. Petrie back to get it. Good hit by Martin on Petrie. And they move to the near corner.
Fourth line trying to create some energy out here for the team. Physical play by Matt Martin. Good hard work by the other two, McDonald and Cizikas.
Andrew McDonald shoots one wide. Islanders completing a change. And now Ference. Hamonic read that. Bouchard tripped. There'll be a penalty. Delayed penalty against the Oilers. Nielsen across. McDonald down low. Nielsen can't squeeze a shot through, and his possession is taken. We get the whistle. Looks like it's Gazdic who's going to go. And the Islanders will go to the power play.
Yeah, that play was all caused by Travis Hamonic again standing up on the play and reading it at the blue line. Keeps it in, and then Bouchard's able to pick up the loose puck. And there's the triple. You can see Travis Hamonic. He keeps the puck in. He pinches. And then Gazdic ends up tripping Bouchard. But a good aggressive play by Travis Hamonic. Getting involved again with the offense.
So the Islander power play is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. Nielsen, Tavares, Wisnowski, Oposo, and Molson. The shot blocked away in front by Dubnyk. Held by Wisnowski. Fires it across. Tavares steps up. Down low, Molson. He's walloped from behind, and the Oilers clear.
Kyle Oposo with a good opportunity in the slot. Didn't get a whole lot on it. Didn't have time, and would have liked another half second to really drill that shot on Dubnyk.
And now Wisnowski sends Oposo on his way, moving well into the Edmonton zone. Looking for a little help. He's double teamed. Pinned by Schultz, who fails to clear. Wisnowski lines up a drive. Save Dubnyk. Rebound is loose. Molson knocked down. Prides the puck over to Tavares. And now Wisnowski for Tavares. Heels back towards the boards. Now Molson for Tavares. Centering feed. Shot by Nielsen. Stopped but not cleared. The keep by Wisnowski. Tavares centers. Score! Oposo! Power play goal. And the Islanders tie it 2-2.
Now the Edmonton Oilers had a couple of opportunities, Howie, to get it out. They failed. Good job of keeping the puck in by both Frans Nielsen and Wisnowski. And the Islanders make them pay with quick passes. Watch John Tavares try to get it across the rim. There's the opportunity to get it out. Wisnowski knocks it down. Tavares slows it down. And the quick 1-2 pass from Molson out to Kyle Oposo. And he got a lot more wood on that shot. Again, you see the quick passes. Up high, down low, back to the slot area. Getting the Oilers out of position. And no chance for Dubnyk. And you can see the smile on Kyle Oposo's face as he's able to whack that one into the back of the net.
Second goal for Kyle. He only had 4 during the 48 regular games played by the Islanders last season. Molson gets his first assist of the year. Tavares gets the second assist. JT's now got a 6-game point streak. He's put up points in every game except the opener in New Jersey. And the Islanders in a 2-2 tie now. Moran lost the handle. Colin McDonald up for Martin. Matt Martin slides it in.
This is a security blanket for Jack Capuano. Gets a goal, puts out this line. Casey Cizikas, Martin, and McDonald feel secure with them.
Well, their last shift was a good one, too.
Yeah, it had a very good one. So they didn't get a whole lot of rest, but they know their job after a goal's been scored is get the puck in deep, make sure nothing goes astray.
That line turned a couple of games around last year.
Particularly in New York and Madison Square Garden. Turned the whole season around for the Islanders with their play at the start of the second period. And the players all talk about it.
Biggest shift of the entire regular season last year.
Absolutely.
Islanders were badly outplayed the first period that night at the Garden, trailed 2-0. And then that line, the Cizikas, Martin, McDonald line, absolutely came out with rage.
Yes.
And a couple of big hits and a goal later on that first shift. The Islanders started to turn the game around and eventually won.
That's what they call having focus and purpose.
Jack Capuano also talks about a similar shift in the game in Montreal, where the Islanders also struggled badly in the first.
Yeah. Down a couple of goals. Came back to find a way to win that one, too.
So here's Donovan firing. Blocker save made by Dubnyk. And the puck ricochets back towards Donovan, but he missed it. And Josh Bailey was back defensively in position to help out. Now he sends Nielsen in. Back for Bailey. Nice move. And another one. Shoots and a save by Dubnyk. And oh, what a couple of moves by Josh Bailey. And that's just pure confidence. Something we might not have made that move 2 or 3 years ago.
And skill.
Yeah, then there's that. And that. And an Oposo tying goal. Tie game Saturday night on MSG +2. The Islanders take on the Hurricanes. Live coverage gets underway at 6:30 with Visa Islanders game night. Islanders and Hurricanes Saturday night on MSG +2. Go to MSG.com for channel locations. Toronto Maple Leafs leading the Hurricanes 1-0 in the second period in Toronto. We mentioned James Reimer, the goaltender for the Leafs earlier. Well, he left the game after just 32 seconds. Involved in a collision with teammate Josh Leivo. So, I know we'll get any more information on that in the near term, but when we do, we'll let you know, and certainly stay tuned to our intermission report. And right here, penalty coming up to the Islanders.
Well, we keep talking about Josh Bailey, how he's arrived and his skill level and his hockey sense. Now there's a penalty here to the Islanders to Kyle Oposo. But watch this as Kyle, look at Josh Bailey through the legs and then whoops, back down to the inside and then the quick wrist shot. You know, you're talking about confidence, boy. There's Ryan Smith as he tries to get by Kyle Oposo. Gets the stick into his legs and ties him up a little bit. They used to call that the can opener.
Can opener.
Howie. Can't do that anymore, but what a sick move by Josh Bailey.
Can opener was the Brian McCabe special.
Yeah, he was very good at it. You come down on him, you try and go by, and you stick that stick in between your legs and just twist it, and down you go.
So the Oilers on the power play as they work down low. Yakupov centers went off of Martin. Keep one thing in mind. The Oilers have allowed 3 shorthanded goals already this year. It's just their 8th game.
Casey Cizikas no stick, Howie, so it's like a 4-on-3 in some ways.
Belov across. Yakupov's drive is swallowed up by Nabokov.
You know, just to get back to that Bailey play, you know, a few years ago we wouldn't have seen the confidence in Bailey to try those kind of moves, and then we wouldn't have watched him shoot the puck. So not only does he do some fancy things, some really nifty, creative handwork along the blue line, he shoots the puck trying to score a goal. So big change in Josh Bailey over the last little bit.
That's kind of the message we were talking about relative to Nail Yakupov of the Oilers. Second year, he's 20 years old. He's a baby, and his name's been all over some recent trade rumors, particularly involving the Buffalo Sabres. So that pass by Belov is picked off by Grabner. Minute 14 to go to Oposo's penalty. Belov sends it in, along with Smith, Eberle, Hall, and Yakupov. That's the Edmonton power play. Yakupov along the blue line. Tough pass. Grabner almost had it. Eberle, good pass. Off the arm is the shot by Hall of Nabokov. Grabner unable to clear. Belov a drive, pad save made by Nabokov. And that's knocked down with would have been an Islander high stick. An Oiler played it next. And now the Islanders clear with 40 to go on the Edmonton power play.
A tough play for Nabokov down low with Ryan Smith in his face, but good shot by Belov, but Nabokov was able to fight it off.
Nugent Hopkins in over the line to Smith. Cizikas was either knocked down or just fell down. Time I looked up, he was airborne. But he's back in the play now as Nugent Hopkins wheels it back to the point. Not held by an unsteady Justin Schultz.
And he tripped over that dreaded blue line that we've so often seen, guys.
Perron to Smith. Back to Schultz. He shoots, and that went wide. Not sure if that hit Nabokov or somebody else in front on the way through.
Definitely deflected to the left-hand corner. Perfect setup from Ryan Smith to Justin Schultz.
Also out of the box. 3 shots for the Oilers on their now failed power play. Hamonic throws his arms around Perron. Hamonic's going to get a penalty. Ryan Smith chipped it to the net. Now we get the whistle, and the Islanders are going to go right back to the penalty kill.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a hold. Travis was trying to get position and got his arm up a little higher than he would have liked to, and was going to get called for holding. And boy, that was a terrific power play by the Oilers. Watch Travis Hamonic just trying to get position. Really not much of a hold, just kind of a spin around. I don't think that was a great call. That's a little bit of a battle for me. But watch Nabokov gets out top of his crease, and you can see that Eberle's trying to go to the front. Justin Schultz, that's deflected by Casey Cizikas, no doubt about it. Never got to Nabokov, so get your sticks in the shooting lane. That's important. You can see Travis Hamonic not very happy with that call. That was a very strong power play by the Oilers.
Hamonic for holding in 9:26. Oilers had 3 shots on their first power play. Belov plays it across, gets it again, shoots one, knocked away by Nabokov, and up to Grabner, and he's turning on the Jets. Grabner against Belov, good move. Grabner trailed now by Eberle and forced into the corner where Belov gives him a good run. And Hall starts out of the Edmonton zone. Islanders wait 3 abreast of the blue line, and the Oilers go offside.
Yeah, good grab control by all 3 Islanders. Straight Thomas Hickey and Casey Cizikas. Michael Grabner, a near breakaway for him. A good move at the blue line on Belov, but couldn't quite get by him. The Grabner using his speed. He takes a little look, sees he's all by himself, now trying to judge his speed. There's the inside move, but they get help coming back as Eberle comes back to help out his defenseman.
So a half minute gone on the Edmonton power play. Just about their second in a row. Meaning very little time between the end of the first one and the beginning of this one.
Pretty much back to back.
Taylor Hall was effectively checked by his own man, Arcabello.
Couldn't get out of the way. Sometimes that happens.
Stood him up with the blue line. Yakupov down to Hall, who's got both Edmonton goals. Justin Schultz. Arcabello back to Schultz. And across. Arcabello's shot gloved by Nabokov. It'll be a face-off in the Islanders zone with 59 seconds left on Hamonic's penalty.
Oh, you talk about good puck movement, quick puck movement by the Oilers. Schultz over to Yakupov, over to Arcabello for a guy that's just sort of filling in right now for Gagne. He's got a pretty quick release. You got the 2 Oilers down in front looking for a rebound, but a nice Z pass all the way across from Yakupov over to Arcabello.
Perron in tight against Nielsen, moved it quickly to Hemsky. Now back to Perron, walks the line, shoots, locked down in front, like it hit Hickey.
Good wall in front of Nabokov that time.
46 to the Edmonton power play. Nugent Hopkins cross to Perron, quick shot save. Nabokov down, where's the puck? It's fired wide into the corner. Recovered though by Hemsky. 33 to the power play. Perron trying to work it back to the blue line under pressure from Straight. Got it across. Nugent Hopkins pass picked off and cleared out by Grabner.
Yeah, terrific play by Michael Grabner. Kept his stick in close until the pass was made, and then he extended it. With that little quick speed he has, he's able to deflect that out. Terrific play by Michael.
Final 10 seconds to the Edmonton power play. Their second. Eberle along the boards. Ference. And now Eberle shoots, and that is blocked by McDonald. Not cleared. Penalty over. Hamonic coming out of the box, trying to get back into the play. Perron along the boards. Perron turning on Cizikas. Perron still with it. Now to Eberle. He plays it across. Just off the bench, Nick Schultz. Got a shot, didn't get it all the way through. Got to hustle back on defense. He did to knock that puck down in center, but it's tucked in by Cizikas. So the Oilers with 3 shots on each of their 2 power plays, neither of which connected. 8:06 to go, second period. Good pace to this game. There has been since the very beginning.
Good energy by both teams. Oilers didn't play yesterday. Islanders didn't play, so well rested and playing with a lot of energy and enthusiasm.
Tavares to Bouchard. Stick check by Ference.
And it's had its physical moments too, Howie, but nothing crazy. Pretty clean hockey out there. Just a lot of good skaters.
One of whom carries here, Neil Yakupov. Quick shot up high and off the arm of Nabokov. And ricochets out of the zone. A little collision between Oposo and Gazdic.
Both guys with their head down in the neutral zone watching the puck that was out ahead of them.
That goes off the stick of Oposo. Brought in by Ryan Jones. And then cleared out by Regan of the Islanders and driven back in by Schmid for the Oilers. 7:13 to go. Second period. The game tied at 2. Way offside was Gazdic, a delayed offside, and they'll wipe that as Gazdic, the last man to tag up, comes out. Back come the Islanders the other way. Regan winds it in behind the Oilers' goal.
Makeshift line. After so many penalties, the Islanders come out with their own line. Clutterbuck, Regan, and Bailey.
Clutterbuck with a good hit on Gazdic. And now Clutterbuck on right wing. 6.5 remaining in the second period. Here's Cizikas moving to the slot, looking for help. Angled by Belov. That's Cizikas. Nicely done. Out to Hamonic. And now McDonald shoots, and that one skipped wide. Cizikas knocked down. Hamonic fires. That's blocked away. Ryan Smith trying to break ahead of the pack. Couldn't get there. They do eventually get him the puck. Hit by McDonald. He drops it off. And moving to the slot is Hemsky to draw a penalty. He backhands the puck wide. The Islanders going to be down again. Third straight penalty called against the Islanders. A slashing penalty will send the Oilers right back to the power play with 6:04 remaining second period on the island. Going to the power play in this 2-2 game. Let's take a look at the Islanders' upcoming schedule presented by Lexus. Carolina Hurricanes here Saturday, then another Western Conference opponent, the Vancouver Canucks, with John Tortorella behind the bench coming here. Note, by the way, that Saturday's game against the Hurricanes on MSG +2. Vancouver game ends the homestand, and the Islanders will be in Pittsburgh next Friday to see the Penguins.
There's the slash by Matt Moulton. Doesn't really catch him on the hand. Looks like he just gets it on the stick. I guess you got to call that. Don't know that I like it or not. Well, 2-minute penalty for slashing the stick, Howie. It wasn't for slashing the player.
He's going to lose the Lady Byng at this rate. He's already matched last season's penalty total of 4 minutes.
I had a bad year once. I think I got about 8.
You're not going to get the hardware that way.
I didn't.
You do have what? 1, Lady Byng?
Yeah.
Eberle carries in. 2 Islanders converge on him. Yakupov shot blocked by Hamonic.
Good job by Travis Hamonic. Held his angle. Poor play by the Islanders on the break-in for the Oilers.
Justin Schultz across to Hall. Islanders box up. It's the third power play for the Oilers. 0 for 2 with 6 shots, 3 on each. Arcabello waiting. Finds Hall, and at 18 to their power play. Carams to Arcabello at the near side. Out to the blue line to Schultz. Justin Schultz, a wrist shot blockered away by Nabokov. Arcabello just about gave it away to Matt Martin, but it's backed up by Schultz. And Arcabello finds Eberle, who draws McDonald down, sets up Schultz, plays it across. Nabokov holds on to the blast of Yakupov. Hall got up, threw a pretty good shove at Hamonic. And nothing more looks to develop there with 56 seconds remaining to the Edmonton power play.
Well, terrific read by Nabokov as we see Schultz in the middle of the ice. Watch Eberle out. The quick pass off to Schultz. But look at, there's the slide. Schultz recognizing that he had to pass that puck, and Nabokov did too, so he just stood across. Here's the entry. You need some communication as both Cizikas and Martin go at the same guy. Now it's a 4-on-3. There's got to be a little more communication between those 2 guys on your penalty kill. One guy is all you need. The other guy has to protect the slot area.
So now Gordon comes on to take the faceoff against Tavares. Gordon, Hemsky, Nugent Hopkins, Perron, and Justin Schultz. The power play for Edmonton.
And Gordon was just out for the faceoff, so big win for the Islanders.
Nugent Hopkins gives it up to Nielsen. Looks to see who's around. Well, he hit his own man with it, Grabner, but he's able to push it the rest of the way down with a half-minute left to the Oilers power play.
Yeah, Michael breaking up the middle. Frans Nielsen just didn't give him enough time.
Nugent Hopkins carries in. He has Hemsky open on the right. Couldn't find him initially. He was actually all alone in front of the net as he cruised through that area. Hemsky, Nugent Hopkins, Ryan Smith, and a kick save made by Nabokov.
Now sliding kick save.
6 left on the power play. Molson ready to come out. Oilers holding. 4:05 left in the period. Justin Schultz down low. Perron put it through the goal mouth.
Yeah, he had both Hemsky and Ryan Smith in front, just looking for a lucky break, a lucky bounce, or hit a stick.
Well, once again, 3 shots on a failed power play for the Oilers. They're 0 for 3 with 9 power play shots. And Molson, right out of the penalty box, dumps the puck in. Nugent Hopkins for Taylor Hall. 3:40 to go, second period. Here's Eberle on the move, and he's got plenty of them. To Schmid. And that one lands on Eberle's stick of the corner. Good pass, but missed by Petrie, who overskated it. Eberle able to hold that puck right at the line before sending Hall back in.
Well, you have to make sure you get it out. Your puck sticking a little bit, but just be a little stronger on the puck. Chip it to the far side.
And Schmid. Marcabello hemmed in by Travis Hamonic.
Islanders need to chip and chase for a while, Howie. Get the rhythm and get the motion going back in the offensive zone. Everything's going the Oiler way, aided by those 3 power plays over the last really 6 or 7 minutes.
2:58 remaining in the second period. The Oilers have had 11 consecutive shots. The Islanders were once leading 24-8 on the shot totals. It's now 24-19. Perron up the right wing to Yakupov. Nugent Hopkins going to the net. Yakupov got a shot that was blocked by Hickey. Good play by Thomas Hickey. And here's Hickey now in over the Edmonton line. And fans shoved to the boards by Ference. Bailey recovers for the Islanders. Turning against Nick Schultz. Sets up Wisnowski. Didn't get all of that. And Wisnowski came together with Nick Schultz, and they both went down. Nielsen lets it go to the blue line. Hickey across to Wisnowski. Back to Nielsen. Plays catch with Bouchard. Nielsen down low. Wasn't held cleanly by Wisnowski, who jumped up. And Nugent Hopkins curls it to the near boards. Nielsen check. Bouchard recovers. Wisnowski draws Perron down. Feeds Hickey. Hard feed. Bailey drifting back. Crisscrosses with Wisnowski. Hands off to Lubo, but it's picked off by Perron.
Perron wasn't fooled as Bailey went across. He stayed with Luba, with Wisnowski.
Now Ryan Smith for Edmonton. Slides it in behind the Islander net. Gordon trying to hem Wisnowski in. Gets help from Ryan Smith. That frees the puck, but Bailey recovers. Sweeps it on to Grabner. 1-on-4 here with the Islanders changing, so Grabner waits. Puck knocked down by Gordon. Recovered by Oposo. He put it out in front, but it was missed by Donovan, the defenseman, in deep. Tavares checked by Gordon. Nice play to get it loose. Oposo to Tavares. He shoots. He scores! John Tavares gives the Islanders a 3-2 lead with 1:07 to go in the second period. He basically started and finished the play.
Yeah, it really did. It was terrific work. Big goal for the Islanders late in the second period. But watch, again, it's John Tavares along the side of the boards. He has such strength. Wins all those little battles. Kyle Oposo trying, I'm not sure if he was trying to go with Tavares because it hits Schultz's stick, number 19. But watch Tavares. This play works because he doesn't stand there and watch his pass. He goes right away, cuts to the slot area, and Kyle Oposo is able to give him that pass. But what a tremendous effort by Tavares. Second and third effort along the boards, would not be denied that cut. We've talked about that on many occasions, how good he is, how strong he is on the ice.
Well, the Islanders went through a stretch that just concluded of over 11 minutes without a shot in this second period. Petrie plays it across to Eberle, and that's knocked down by Nabokov. And yet, the Islanders have the only 2 goals of this third period and have regained the lead. It's 3-2 New York as Tavares with a 2-point night picks up his 4th goal of the year, and Nabokov makes a save on a high riser by Arcabello with 29.4 seconds remaining in the second period, so it wasn't quite into the final minute of the period, but close enough. At 18:53, a very late second period goal by Tavares from Oposo and Grabner. And so JT continues along his merry way, scoring points in every game since being held scoreless in the opener.
He gets a lot of points, Howie. He gets a lot of assists, but this guy's a goal scorer. You give him a chance, give him a half a second, and he's going to bury it. And he wasted no time. He knew exactly where he was going to go with that high glove. No chance for Dubnyk.
Now Perron with 22 left in the period. Lost it under some pressure. Tavares back. Round now to Hickey. And lifted back into the Edmonton zone. Ference Angled into the boards by Oposo. Ferentz knocks Oposo down. There'll be a penalty. Ferentz will go. The Islanders effectively will begin the second period, or make it the third period, on a power play, which they will have virtually all of its time to work with just 3.5 seconds left here in the second period.
Well, it certainly will give the Islanders likely an opportunity. You see the Kyle Oposo in there right away, and there's the not much of a little bit of a high stick, I guess, initially. Will give the Islanders an opportunity to start the third period on the power play with fresh ice.
Islanders up a goal. Oposo, good work to draw the penalty. Oilers control the draw, so time will run out here. The Islanders take a 3-2 lead into their room at the end of 40 minutes. Tavares and Oposo with the goals. Although Edmonton outshot the Islanders 14-9 for the period, the Islanders have outshot them 25-21 through 2 periods. And so, 3-2 New York at the end of 2, and Peter will talk to Kyle Oposo. Has a goal tonight. Again, good work in the corner. Through a penalty. Islanders will have the power play to start the third period. We'll also take you around the NHL on another busy night. We'll show you highlights from the second period where the Islanders scored twice. This one puts them in front 3-2 at the end of 2. That adds up to Islanders 3, Oilers 2 as we get set for the third period here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Our Thursday night telecast brought to you by Ram. And the Islanders will start the third period on the power play as the result of the penalty taken right near the end of the second period by Nick Schultz. North Shore LIJ, the official hospital of the New York Islanders, who begin with Tavares between Oposo and Molson, with Nielsen and Wisnowski as the point men. And for Edmonton, it'll be Acton. We haven't seen a whole lot of Will Acton in this game, but he is centering Jordan Eberle with Schmid back on defense with Petrie, who fires it down to the Islander line, but it had been knocked down by a high stick. And this Islander power play is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know.
Well, Acton's dad was a very good penalty killer for a number of teams, Minnesota, Toronto. He's even New York for a while. Keith Acton, a very good competitor. Son would be no less. Good DNA, so you would expect him to be a penalty killer.
You see Nick Schultz in the penalty box for the infraction right at the end of that second period. So the Islanders looking to cash in. Molson throws it in. Nielsen goes after it. Petrie puts the body on him. Puck squirts loose. Jordan Eberle looking to move up short-handed. Working against first Tavares, then Wisnowski. And the wind around by Nabokov was cut off by Boyd Gordon. Remember, the Islanders on the power play here. Tavares sends Oposo along the left wing. Nielsen slides it right through some legs and all the way to the goaltender, Devin Dubnyk, who covers up.
Well, Islanders on their entry, they have certain plays they like to run, and they always talk about puck retrieval and support. I saw a couple of situations where it looked like the Islanders actually threw it away, Howie. They didn't. The support players didn't get into position. They didn't have enough time. Kyle Oposo did it once on the boards there, and Franz Nielsen, you can see him. He was looking to try and get his positioning. So it's not as bad as it looked. Just good job by the Oilers preventing some of those passes.
Minute left on the Edmonton penalty to Nick Schultz. And the Islanders will need a couple of 100 feet now as Bouchard has to take it all the way back behind his own net for the Islanders. Bouchard, Bailey, Donovan, Martin, and Regan. The Islander power play. They turn it over. Oilers failed to clear though. Petrie had it knocked down. Donovan, Regan's pass missed the slot, came all the way to Bouchard. Out of Donovan. Back off the boards. Cut off and cleared by Petrie. Donovan stops it before the Islander blue line though. 21 to go on the Islander power play. In comes Bailey. Trying to get around Petrie.
Oh, he was grabbed, too. Should have been a penalty.
Now Donovan for Regan. Bailey centers, deflects to Donovan, fires. Bad save made through traffic by Dubnyk. Here's Donovan firing again, and Dubnyk's got that. He also took a stick from Peter Regan just as the penalty to Schultz is on the verge of expiration. 1 second to go.
Now, good shot by Donovan from the point. Had both Regan and Martin in front. There's the quick pass, trying to get it up in front to Matt Martin. The puck will get back. Now you can see that Peter Regan is down low again with Matt Martin, and Big Schmid, 6'3", is trying to get him out of the way along with Petrie. Petrie got away with a hold there as Josh Bailey had him beat, and he put a little tug on him. The Islanders didn't get a whole lot done on that power play.
Well, when the whistle blew, there was 1 second left on the penalty time, but they have let Schultz out of the box. And so the team's back at full strength.
The Islanders aren't complaining. Although on this face-off, you might want to complain a little bit. Gives you an opportunity for a quick shot, plus possession.
So Cizikas on the draw with Gordon. The team's now at full strength. Justin Schultz snaps it around the board. Cizikas down to a knee to cut it off. Belov, Hall, and Gordon comes out. Angled towards the boards by Colin McDonald. And then Hamonic scoops it ahead. Batted away a couple of times by Perron. Recovered by Cizikas. Makes his move to the net. He shoots, and he went right through the goal crease with it. McDonald to McDonald. And now Belov goes to the far corner against Clutterbuck. And Taylor Hall backhands it up the middle. Marcabello into the Islanders zone. Holds up. Throws it all the way across. And the stick of Perron broke. It snapped as he tried to release the puck.
So often we see that with today's new sticks. They try and get that one-timer. Breaks more often than not. That's why Ryan Smith, that's why he still uses his two-piece stick. Perhaps we'll get a look at that as this game progresses.
Wood blade, fiberglass shaft. Grabner a drive and a glove save made by Dubnyk.
Yeah, he stayed up. He didn't go down as quickly as he has during the early part of this game. Michael Grabner expecting Dubnyk to go down, decides to go high glove. Dubnyk outguesses him or just outclassed him on this play. Good shot by Michael Grabner. Good positioning. Ryan Smith, look at, here's the stick. It's a two-piece stick. You got to glue it together like sticks from the 90s. Ryan Smith says that I just get a better feel with it than today's new model. Well, you got to like that because I liked all my old equipment, so I'm glad to see that Ryan Smith sticking to his roots.
Yeah, he said he's used the composite, hasn't in a while, in games, and of course they're much lighter, but he just didn't feel the puck the same way. He was never comfortable with it.
Well, I've tried those two-piece sticks myself, and I didn't like them either.
Kyle Oposo throws one wide. Talking about your equipment, one of these days you've got to bring your shoulder pads back in. People would not believe what they called protection back then.
You wouldn't go into the corner with those shoulder pads. Well, come to think of it, Howie, I didn't.
Well, you had a good reason.
That's why I had Clark Gillies and Bobby Nystrom. That was their job.
And that, my friends, is how you win the Lady Byng Trophy. 3:46 gone in the third. Coming up, the Foxwoods Final Five. Foxwoods, your destination for endless excitement. I'm telling you, when you showed me those things, it almost looked like they were made with the cardboard that you get when you send your shirts out to the dry cleaners. They were that thin.
Yeah, they were very thin. They didn't offer a lot of protection, but that was the way of the game.
Andrew Ferentz waiting for the puck behind the Edmonton goal. So we've got Hickey being knocked down there, a little slow to get up.
Yeah, tripped over Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith was coming out, and they just got over each other's legs.
Nielsen drives one into the glove of Dubnyk.
Well, he's settled down a little bit. Dubnyk has. Edmonton's done a much better job of keeping the Islanders to the outside, so good clear look at those long shots, and he's able to feel the puck a little bit, starting to feel comfortable, a little more comfortable about his game. You know, he had a pretty good stretch last year, Dubnyk, Howie, of 166 minutes of shutout hockey. It's not the Oiler record. An old Islander, Tommy Salo, has that record.
Which a lot of people might find surprising, but you know, Tommy was an accomplished goaltender, certainly internationally.
Played well for me. We won two 2 international Turner Cups down in Denver and Salt Lake, so I have nothing but good memories of Tommy Salo, and he played very well for the Oilers.
Now here's Arcabello hitting the red line and dumping it in. 15:46 to go in the third. Islanders up 3-2. That puck deflected appeared to have actually hit a hand or a glove on its way over the glass.
Yeah, that went off either Hall or Regan as it was wired around by Andrew McDonald. That's what you're going to wrap the puck. You should wrap it as hard as you can because your winger's going to have to deflect it out. You know the pinching defenseman's coming in. There's not going to be any room for you. So if you just sort of lollygag it around softly, it's probably just going to stay right there along the boards.
Islanders really could use a strong third period here. They outshot Edmonton 5-0 at its beginning, and again they did have the power play to start. But the third period through the first 7 or 6 games of the year is the one period where they have been outscored. They've outscored the opposition in each of the first 2 periods, but we've seen a couple of third period leads at home get away from them again.
Yeah, well, that's when the real playing comes. And you know, listen to Dallas Eakins talk about wanting his team not to change their game. Jack Capuano has said the same thing. Don't look at the score. Just recognize what's going on out there and do the right thing, but don't change your game. Don't start to get a little bit more secure about how you play the game, less aggressive or more cautious. It never works that way.
Saw Josh Bailey off the icing, staying on, along with Molson and Nielsen, McDonald and Hamonic, Nugent Hopkins, Yakupov, Moran, Schmid, and Petry for the Oilers. And now Josh Bailey slips one all the way down. Petry being chased by Andrew McDonald. Petry leaves it in the corner, grabbed there by Nugent Hopkins. So overall, the shots are 30-21 Islanders. That goes out of play. Did it go without deflection?
Yeah, that's going to be a 2-minute penalty because that went right over the glass into the penalty box. I don't think anybody touched that, so I think Petry's going to get a 2-minute penalty for delay of game. I didn't see it hit anybody, and it went straight in.
Officials are confirming the penalty is called, and the Islanders will have a power play.
Yeah, that's going to be Petry, and careless handling of the puck, or as you would say, bad puck management.
No, not me.
Number 2, New York, minor penalty, delay of game.
Now you can see him flip that puck. It just doesn't look like it caroms off the glass at all. It just goes straight up and over. Not a lot of argument. There had been any indecision on this man's part.
So the delay of game call against Petry at 5:12. Islanders 1 for 3 on the power play with 7 shots. And here's Nielsen across for a Wisnowski drive that missed the net.
Yeah, a little bit too high. It's got a little bit too much of bend in the stick. Changes the angle, Howie. You get such, those sticks have so much whip on them. If you just really lean into them, they'll bend a little bit more and change the elevation.
You can watch a good photo or a very slow, super slow-mo shot. You could see the torque in the bend of those sticks.
Absolutely. And if they bend too much, then they open up.
Poso to Tavares. Hard feed to the slot. Nielsen surrounded. But the puck winds up on Tavares' stick as it so often seems to.
There was the support. Kyle Post in the middle on that Tavares pass.
Molson across. Got it eventually to Tavares. John steps up. Cross to Nielsen. Now to Oposo. Tried to get it to Tavares. He just might have easily have shot too.
They had to get his shoulders squared around to be able to make that shot.
Tavares wheels it neatly back to Wisnowski for a drive that's blocked and cleared by Acton.
Yeah, nice play by Acton. It stayed in the shooting lane, wasn't fooled one iota.
Tavares right back in against Eberle. Schmid fires it hard around and all the way down. 43 to go.
And one thing about the glass of the Coliseum, it never goes straight, and you wire it hard, you're going to get a fortuitous bounce, and Schmid certainly did as he carried him back into the middle.
It's the funhouse, all right. But the Capital is in that Zamboni corner. Here's Martin shooting. Dubnyk the save, and he'll gather it in. And there'll be a face-off in the Edmonton zone with 26 seconds remaining on the power play and a very Munster 13-13 remaining in the third period.
Matt Martin looking for the breakaway, cutting across the blue line. Quick pass up the middle. He was able to get that release. Matt Martin taking a quick look. Says, well, I'm by myself. I might as well see if Dubnyk can start my hard wrist shot. And he does. Again, you see Dubnyk now getting on the top of the crease. Earlier on, he was back in his net. Couldn't handle any rebounds, Howie.
So the face-off in Mockingbird Lane, controlled by the Islanders. McDonald Down into the corner. Steered around by Regan to Bailey. Nobody in front just yet. Bailey works the corner. Out to Donovan. And now Bailey with 8 to the power play. Donovan through a screen. Saved Dubnyk. It's loose. And is poked towards the boards. Leaned on and sent to the line, but not out. Penalty is over. Bailey tried to make another nice move. He made 2 of them on one play earlier tonight. But now the Oilers clear, and this will cost them an icing.
A nice play by Donovan to keep that puck in. First he knocked it down and then had the presence of mind to get his head up. Didn't have to worry about the puck. He had control and made a nice pass to Bailey. That's what the Jack Capuano sees in Matt Donovan, is that ability to make those plays. There's Donovan getting the shot. Dubnyk, there's a deflection out in front by Regan, and good save by Dubnyk. Is able to get to that puck. There's the deflection, almost gets it 5-hole, redirection in front of the net, gets the stick down on the ice. That's the key point. Get your stick down on the ice, and then there's a wild melee in front of the net, but good job by Regan to get in front and get his stick on the puck.
And the Islanders see the Oilers call timeout. Remember, the Oilers iced the puck right after their penalty killers were done killing the penalty, and so since they couldn't get them off the ice, they decide to give them a breather by taking their time out here. Saturday night on MSG+2, the Islanders take on the Hurricanes. Live coverage gets underway at 6:30 with Visa Islanders Game Night. Islanders Hurricanes Saturday night on MSG+2. Go to MSG.com for channel locations. It's 2-0 Toronto over Carolina now at the end of 2 periods in Toronto.
Yeah, you have Boyd Gordon on the ice, who's very proficient at his faceoffs, even though he was a little tired. It's the kind of guy you want out there.
Leafs, by the way, off to a great start.
Oh, boy.
6-1.
Boy, they ever. Underneath Leaf fans been waiting a long time for their team to do something good. Last year they made the playoffs for the first time in a long time. Now they expect more, like everybody that makes the playoffs.
Matt Martin from a deep angle, and Dubnyk has to cover the rebound. It's been 1967 since the Maple Leafs won their last Stanley Cup. 12:10 to go here in the third. Islanders up 3-2, 12:10 to go in the third. The answer to our Cadillac trivia question: there are 4 current NHL coaches that played for the Islanders. I referenced one, and that was Kirk Muller, guy behind the bench tonight. Dallas Eakins. I know you might not remember that. Craig Berube and Todd McLellan are the others. And Dallas Eakins was asked earlier today exactly what he remembered about playing for the Islanders.
Not much. I remember the team must have been really bad because I actually played on the power play one of the games. So that was the struggle that was going on here then. But I don't remember much, actually.
Well, now, what kind of a coach would put Dallas Eakins out on the power play anyway?
Well, one that knew what he was doing. Did you know that he was? Did you know that he was also +3?
Alan McDonald shot stopped by Dubnyk, which is very nice of the Edmonton goaltender to give us some extra time to have fun with this. Yep, Butchie was the coach back in December of 1999 when Dallas Eakins played 2 games with an Islander team that frankly didn't have a whole lot of talent. As well, you certainly remember Butch.
Yeah, I do remember, but he did play well. As I mentioned, he was +3. We got a win and a tie. We won in New Jersey, so we didn't win a lot of games early on in that season. But he came up from Chicago Wolves, I believe it was, and did a nice job. And I can't believe he would say that.
Well,
he wasn't very good. The power play was excellent.
He was near the end of his NHL career, though.
Yeah, he really was.
And he played 120 games in the league. He never scored a goal. So what did you see that made you think he'd be a good idea for the power play?
Well, he just had good
hockey sense. That's your favorite.
Well, yeah, he did. He had good patience. He wasn't going to get rattled.
And that's, kind of things that Craig McTavish and Kevin Lowe talk about now when they discuss why they made him the head coach of this team.
Yeah, because he does, he's a great communicator. He works well with young people. And they brought in Andrew Ference to help those kids along. And, back in 99 and 2000, we had a young team also. So you want to try and surround them with vets whenever you have young people.
Grabner puts the body on a vet. David Perron, 6 years with the St. Louis Blues before becoming an Oiler. It's turned aside by Dubnyk. 10:57 remaining in the third. You were just ahead of your time is all it was. 2 games, he's a +3. What kind of a general manager would let him go?
Well, we won't go there. We don't have enough time.
Hemsky floats one into the corner. Just kidding, Mike. Ryan Smith behind the net. Smith, a wraparound. Nabokov was able to close off the post.
Nabokov's played against Ryan Smith for a number of years, so he knows exactly what he's all about. So anytime that he has the puck behind the net, he knows he's going to try and jam it.
I say when in doubt, just blame Milstein.
Yeah. Well, hey, blame anybody but me. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm working with you here. I got your back.
Well, that's behind the net. This is what Ryan Smith does very, very well. But you can see Nabokov, he's really got it closed off, so there's no opportunity for any kind of a jam. But Ryan Smith, I admire, you know, he was talking today about the game, and it's changed a little bit. It's really fast. The guys are big, strong. They're in much better shape than, you know, even when he started. Everybody's got the great builds on him. But he loves to be around the guys, and he's learning all the time. He said, hey, I'm never too old to learn. These guys got some great tricks.
That Oilers shot, by the way, was their first of the period after the Islanders had taken the first 10. So it's 35-22 Islanders in shots. 9:56 to go in the third. 3-2 New York. Tavares with a go-ahead goal, coming with 1:03 remaining in the second period.
Well, the Islanders have to continue to find their energy. You know, don't start becoming methodical. Just get on these guys. Don't give them any time.
Belov had a shot deflect away. They used to say when the Oilers were at their worst in the National Hockey League that Edmonton was kind of like the Siberia of the NHL, and Belov knows all about that because that's where he played last year, literally in Siberia. In the KHL.
That'll test your desire to play in the game.
And your ability to stay anything resembling warm. And on right wing is Yakupov, who pretty much knows all about it. And the puck sent out to center, swept by Tavares to Okposo. Grabner going to the net. Okposo can't get it there. Nugent Hopkins got back. Under 9 to go in the third. Haran under pressure, then took a little whack to the back of the leg by Okposo. And Hickey guides it in.
Well, that's just welcome him into the league. Let him know that there's a physical game out here. You want to play, be prepared.
Taylor Hall carrying the puck. He set an Edmonton record tonight with 2 goals in 8 seconds. One better than Wayne Gretzky. 1 second better than Gretzky's previous team record.
Good chip in there by Colin McDonald. Recognizes the situation.
Hemsky in after it. Smead did everything but hold Cizikas, and I don't know that he didn't. That shot deflects through.
Oh, what a great shot by Donovan. He wasn't looking to get it on net. He saw Matt Martin in the slot, and Matt Martin, tremendous deflection. And there's 28, Jones. Well, he wants to fight, but Matt Martin shouldn't fight right now. No need to.
Smead was looking for Hall going to the front of the net, but the pass missed him as he was also well covered. Now straight behind the Islander net. 7:52 to go. Third period. Islanders up 1. This will be an icing.
Yeah, you have to make sure now you get a piece of that puck in the area. Doesn't work anymore, and Islanders are going to be forced for the face-off down in the defensive zone. Casey Cizikas, who's been very good on the face-offs.
Well, what's your, if you go back to Jack Capuano's checklist from before the game about what he needed tonight that he might not have gotten the last game, how do you think they fared?
Well, I think they, again, continue to shoot the pucks. They got a lot of shots last game, but they passed up a lot of opportunities on 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s. So I think that's been the message more than anything else, is when you're in a good shooting lane or a good opportunity, don't look to make a better play. Don't let it get too fancy. Get the puck in and shoot it. And I think you've seen that, Howard. They've shot the puck a lot more from different positions.
37-22 Islanders in shots with 7:20 remaining in this third period, and Hamonic jams it right back into the Edmonton zone.
Well, that's what you want to do. Keep your gap control. Try to stay up above the blue line. Get your timing right. But the neutral zone can be slowed down.
Nugent Hopkins brings it in. Nice feed to Hall. He's got 2. The attempt at number 3 blocked away by Nabokov. Nick Schultz, a shot. Nabokov slides out to stop that. He holds on. And there's no further play. 6:55 remaining. Third period on the island. Islanders leading. 6:55 to go in the third. Here's our Tri-Honda game recap. The Edmonton offense effectively encapsulated in 1 8-second spurt from one player, Taylor Hall. And Tavares, like Hall, a one-time first overall pick, with a goal, an assist. Point streak now up to 6. And the Islanders trying to expand on before they even worry about preserving this lead.
I think John Tavares looks at the scoring race at all, Howie, as he gets up each and every day and wondering what guys like Sidney Crosby are doing.
Well, if he does, he wouldn't admit it, I'll bet.
You know it.
Josh Bailey taken in by Ferentz. Well, there are players who would.
Absolutely.
But John is very much the kind of player who likes to keep things under the radar.
He really does. I'm sure he's very much aware of what everybody else has because that's the way he plays. He's intense. He knows everything that goes on around him.
Here, Mark Bouchard.
This line's been good for the Islanders, Howie. Excuse me. Bouchard has been a good fit with Bailey and Frans Nielsen.
Now McDonald. Some of that with a new player is trial and error also, isn't it? Just trying to see with whom he meshes best.
Yes, they've tried him with several different lines, but this is a line that has good hockey sense. They can all skate. They like to move the puck. And it's been a good fit early on.
Eberle throws it in. We're under 6 minutes to go in the third. Islanders up a goal. Andrew McDonald throws it into the corner. Hamonic didn't clear. Kept alive there by Vladislav Schmid.
Grabner had an opportunity to get that out. You have to bear down at this time, around the blue line.
Perron from a deep angle threw it off Nabokov, who held the side of the net. And the Islanders just throw it out of there. Schmid being chased by Grabner. And play continues rather than call the icing. And there's Grabner recovering. Schmid with a block.
That's what I'm talking about, shooting the puck. He had an opportunity to shoot it. There was really no pass there. He's been pretty good with that, but that's a mistake.
Now Hickey fires one, and Dubnyk snatches it.
Yeah, aggressive save by Dubnyk. He's able to follow that puck. A good shot by Thomas Hickey. A little scrap in the corner.
Poso, again Schmid there.
Kyle Oposo continues to be aggressive. He doesn't back down for anyone, not scared to go at it. That's a big guy, Schmid. But the Islanders lead 3-2 late in the third.
After the game, get reaction from Coach Capuano and the players, plus highlights and analysis on the Islanders postgame presented by A&A immediately following the action. With 5:02 remaining in the third period, the face-off in the Edmonton zone. Right where Jack Capuano likes it this time of game.
Yeah, you want to keep it down in the offensive zone as much as you possibly can. Chip it in, chase it, finish your checks. Don't stop skating.
And you're watching the Foxwoods Final Five. Foxwoods, your destination for endless excitement. Visit foxwoods.com now. Oposo, a little touch feed. Too far for Tavares.
Right idea, though, Howie. Nice play by the two defensemen getting it up to Kyle. And we knew John Tavares was there, just a little out of his reach, as you mentioned.
Interested to hear what the players have to say after the game, but the ice appears to have been much better tonight than it was in the game on Tuesday night.
Yeah, the puck's definitely not bouncing.
Hemsky throws it back to Belov. That went wide. Ryan Smith tried to tuck it in. Couldn't get it to his backhand. And up comes Cizikas with a dump in and now a chase against Belov. Cizikas, good work to get position. Win the puck. Try to center it. Couldn't do it. Marcabello took a big hit from Matt Martin. And only now do the Oilers get the puck out, but Martin gets back into the play and is able to make a good defensive play to regain the puck, too.
Yeah, skating really well tonight. He's been skating, has had a good camp. And
a drive by Reagan off the arm of Dubnyk.
Yeah, let me finish it, and he's been very physical out there, so he's brought his A game in a very important game for the Islanders tonight.
That was a nice sequence with the body check and then jumping back into the neutral zone.
It's a much easier game when you're skating, or you feel like skating.
And he's had 4 shots, delivered 5 hits in this game.
It's about normal for him.
And the hits in particular have the crowd jacked up again with 3:21 to go in the third.
The Islanders fans recognize that the Islanders have struggled in the third period. They're trying to edge them on just a little bit to find a way to win this hockey game and maintain that lead, more importantly.
Now Schmid in the Edmonton zone across to Petry. He hits the red line and steers it in. Hamonic Took a hit from Perron in the corner, then got turned around by Nugent Hopkins. And here comes Bouchard up right wing. Plan A is to get it deep.
They'll chip it in all the time and then get pressure on him. Don't give him any time to have that easy exit.
Nugent Hopkins for Perron. And now Petrie throws it ahead. Batted back at the line by Wisniewski. He gets it again. And now Hickey finds some room. Bouchard chips it softly to Bailey. Bailey, nice little drag, but couldn't get it past the sprawled out Justin Schultz.
Nice job by Justin Schultz. Just laid the body. Didn't give Josh Bailey any room to go.
Hickey feeds it down low. 2:15 to go in the third. Tavares to Okposo. Oh, and Dubnyk got it with his arm.
Again, aggressive move by Dubnyk, getting to the top of the crease.
Okposo was just calling for the puck up high in the slot, but Bouchard didn't see him. And now Wisniewski back in center, trying to spread it back. He does. Now Grabner up ahead of Poso, tied up by Schultz. Grabner trails. There'll be a penalty to the Oilers here. A huge penalty. Islanders will go to the power play with 1:46 remaining in regulation time. So the best that Dallas Eakins could hope for here is to pull his goaltender just to even up the manpower.
Yeah, trying to get some kind of a shorthanded goal. But what a terrific play by Kyle Okposo. Again, getting up the ice, coming back. There's the pass by Grabner, but Kyle Okposo busts his butt to get out of the offensive zone, get onside, and get into the hole. And that's the reason there was a penalty to Schultz, because it was all about the good work Kyle Okposo. Look at this wrist shot. He gets a lot into that. Goes high over trying to get it over the blocker. Hits the shoulder. But again, good play by Kyle Okposo, working hard to get into the openings. Which we always talk about John Tavares, when he has the puck, you should work hard to get in the openings because you'll get it.
So it's a hook on Justin Schultz. Islanders' fifth power play. They're 1 for 4 with 9 shots. And they won't take any real chances here. Time very much their ally, but a soft pass picked off. However, unable to get out initially was Gorton, but on now comes Hall shooting one. And Nabokov stopped, and it carries out of play.
A terrific wrist shot by Taylor Hall as he's able to first get by Wisniewski, but then there's the shot as Andrew McDonald gets back, and man, that hit the side of the net. So Taylor Hall, very good skater, very good with the puck, and a terrific shot. You can see the Islanders have 2 defensemen on the power play, not wanting to take any chances. Doug Wade and Jack Capuano talked about that. They're just trying to get the fast changes. They figure like the Oilers are trying to stall for time. You can see them giving it the old let's speed up the play, but Islanders a little bit conservative on the power play, using 2 defensemen. The right move, absolutely the right move.
And that faceoff came outside because the puck had never been touched by Nabokov, and now from the draw they get Dubnyk to the Edmonton bench. Their net is empty, but the manpower is even because of the penalty, which has Schultz in the box for the duration of regulation time.
And Islanders have 3 checkers on the forward line with Nielsen, Grabner, and Regan. So 2 centers just to make sure in case there's a face-off. So Jack Capuano trying to make sure that everything is covered. All his bases are covered.
Now we're into the final minute of regulation time. The Edmonton net is empty. 45 seconds to go. The Islanders leading 3-2. Taylor Hall with both Edmonton goals. Wheels to center. He'll dump it in. Nabokov didn't want to do that, but he has no choice. So there'll be a face-off in the Islanders zone.
The Oilers got what they wanted, an opportunity to get a face-off. Expect Boyd Gordon, he's their best face-off, to come out and try and win this draw. The Islanders can get their change. They probably have 2 centers out there also. I see Casey Cizikas is out there. John Tavares is out there with Matt Martin. So they're talking about make sure you know where you're going. That's the most important thing. If you lose the draw, if you win it, make sure you know where to go. John Tavares has got to get over to the boards.
Well, the Islanders win it. Tavares gets to the boards, but the puck doesn't. Andrew McDonald gets it back. 28 to go. Empty net at the other end for the Oilers. Petrie throws one to the net. That's blocked. Tavares knocked off balance, trying to turn towards that empty net. We're down to 19 seconds to go.
Yeah, good block by Cizikas on that shot from the point.
Nugent Hopkins sent it in. Worked around the boards by Hall. Down to 10 seconds to go. Islanders try to clear. They do. That should do it. 6 seconds remaining. Perron to Nugent. Hopkins nowhere for the Oilers to go. McDonald pokes it ahead. Tavares misses the empty net, but the whistle had blown. 1.2 seconds remaining on the clock.
I was kind of wondering. I was watching the puck go, and I was watching the clock at the same time, and it wasn't moving. So I was going, well, maybe John's talking to the timekeeper. Give me an extra second or two. I need it.
Well, they're going to talk to the timekeeper now to get together on exactly how much time was on that clock when the whistle blew. But if that faceoff stays outside the Islander blue line, it's really not going to matter much.
What a job, though, by Casey Cizikas. First, he blocked a shot. A couple of times, Howie, he was able to control the puck along the boards and make a little chip shot and get it out. So you got to give Casey Cizikas full marks for, having the poise, having the strength down there, having common sense, not just to throw it away. Take your time, make the right play, and he made several of them, including that block.
Well, they finished their review over at the bench, and referee Kyle Raymond, who is supervising, looking at the clock and the video, puts 0.6 of a second back up. It's not going to matter. 1.8 to go. Islanders win it 3-2. John Tavares, second period goal late in the period, proves to be the difference. Nabokov solid, and the Islanders going back to last season, even though they've blown a couple of leads at home in third periods this year, now have points in their last 10 games in this building. And so the Islanders, with a 3-2 win, go back over the NHL's version of 500. They're 3-2-2 on the year.
Well, that's the thing about the Islanders. You watch them play the last couple of games, Howie, and they played well enough to win games, and they did have the lead, and they let it slip away, and that's the frustrating part, because it could have really put them in a much better position, as this homestand continues. But you're right, they played well at home. They found ways to get points, and that's the most important thing. That's the bottom line. Get points. You can't always get two. As long as you get one, it's okay.
And the Oilers, on the other hand, winless in their last 5. Just one loser point among those 5 games. That was an overtime loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs. So the Islanders win this one 3-2. And we'll go downstairs, pick up the 3 stars of the game, and then Peter will chat with the star of the show. Obviously a strong game by John Tavares with a goal and an assist. Josh Bailey had a pretty good game as well, not only with a goal.
A lot of the guys I thought had very strong games.
Taylor Hall gets the 3rd star.
Yeah, well, 2 goals. And, well, he only played 8 seconds, Howard, really.
Josh Bailey gets the 2nd star, and I'd imagine JT will be the 1st.
Yeah, I thought, like I said, I thought a lot of guys played pretty well. I thought Bouchard had a good game.
New York Islanders, number 91, John Tavares.
Well, that's what happens when you get a goal and assist.
Peter knows it. He's prepared for him. John Tavares provides a souvenir, and Peter is standing by with Captain John Tavares.